As my kiddos approach high school, I like to sit down and make a 4-year roadmap, so to speak, of where we're going. Because I do not want to get to their senior year and realize that we are short a credit or they don't have the right courses that they need to get into college if that's what they're choosing. And now that my youngest, Matthew, is entering high school, it's time to point out what his 4 years is going to look like, or may look like. I'm going to turn the camera down and let's get planning. A couple of things before we actually start mapping this out. The first one I get asked a lot, and I see asked a lot in various groups, is how do I know what my student needs in high school? And in order to figure out what our standards are going to be for our kids, because we're in North Carolina, like most places, we get to set that standard. To decide, I looked at various colleges' websites and figured out an average of what kids might need. And then I adjusted our requirements based around that. Second, Matthew is STEM bound, maybe competitive school, maybe not, but almost definitely out of state. And so he does need to have a competitive, strong plan. So it is going to be very science and math focused. If you have a kiddo who is not STEM bound, this is going to look like too much. Don't let it intimidate you or make you think you're doing anything wrong, that you're not giving a rigorous enough program. This is specifically for my STEM bound kid. I think I have videos of planning both of my other kiddos, so I will link those down below. Third, while I'm mapping this out based on what classes he needs, I am not choosing curriculum yet because I don't know. I don't know what curriculum is going to fit him at different points. I don't know what classes we'll end up doing as AP or CLEP or dual enrollment or whatever. So this is just the roadmap of what we're going to do. Those little destinations, the classes themselves, I'm not picking out those details. And lastly, this is subject to change. So please write in pencil. Or if not, make sure you've got a good stock of whiteout or friction pens because you're going to need it. I'm going to use pen so it shows up, but please use pencil. Just make it easy on yourself. I'm going to start with math because most kids progress through the normal progression of Algebra 1, which he did this year. And I'm going to just put an HS down here so I know that's a high school credit. And then geometry, Algebra 2. While you really only need usually 3 or 4 math credits, which he would obviously have at this point, for a STEM-bound kid, you're going to want more. In North Carolina, kids can take dual enrollment courses at the community college for free. And as I understand it, there are actually 2 pre-calculus classes, one of algebra and one of trig. And it looks like he needs both in order to take calculus. Then that would put him doing Calc 1 in 12th grade and then Calc 2 in 12th grade. And both of those, our plan is to do those as dual enrollment. Maybe also CLEP them. We'll see. Now, I'm going to do English next because that one is another easy one to fill in. Because it's mostly just an English 1, English 2. In 9th grade, he's probably going to do a 20th century lit to go along with his history. And then the focuses of the other years, I don't know. He did a Spanish 1A. I wouldn't call it a full year of Spanish in 8th grade, but he's decided that he'd like to switch to German. So we will plan that. At some point in here, my hope is that we will be able to CLEP it. A few of the colleges he's looking at are really good about accepting CLEP transfer. Other ones are not. So how much CLEP tests we end up doing really depends on what that's looking like as we get through. as we get later into his high school years. Okay, let's hit social studies next. This year he did a Middle Ages year. Next year he wants to do 20th century world history, which is great because I already have some plans from when my daughter did that. And then that will count as his world history credit. He'll also need a U.S. history credit. So our plan is to do that in 10th grade. And in 11th grade, he would like to do maybe psychology one semester, which he could do dual enrollment. And then, I don't know, maybe nothing that semester. We'll see. And that gives us 1, 2, and then psychology at the dual enrollment would be a full year course. That's 1, 2, 3. And those are half credits, so 4 credits for social studies. English will be 4 credits. Same with foreign language. Okay. Science intimidates me, my friends. I feel, I'm not sure inadequate is the right word, but intimidated for sure about getting him a solid science background. My daughter, who's already in college, is a psychology major. And while we did science, it was a good science education, but not a great one. I want to try and give Matthew a great one, and that intimidates me. So our plan is, since he already has his biology credit from this year, that he will wait to do chemistry in 11th grade, even though that's typically done after biology, so that he can do it as a dual enrollment course. Colleges usually want 2 to 3 science credits and 1 lab science credit. So make sure that you are planning for that if you have a college-bound kiddo. And if you have a STEM-bound kiddo, more than 1 lab is better. Now, he needs a physics still, but we can't do physics in 9th grade because he'll be doing geometry. For a math-based physics, you need to be concurrently taking Algebra 2 or have already taken it. So we will plan to do that in 10th grade. That covers his basics. But that leaves 9th grade empty. And we're going to take a little bit of a spin on it. And my plan is to do an AP computer science course this year. I have not chosen a curriculum yet. In order to list something as an AP course, you have to have it pre-approved by the College Board, or they have pre-approved ones on their website, curriculums. So that is my plan this year for science. Stretching it a bit because it doesn't usually fall as a science course, depending on who you ask. So anyway, that's going to be the plan. So he'd like to do an advanced physics at home, or a physics through a dual enrollment, or another college level course that year. And then he would like to do an advanced astronomy course in 11th grade. Maybe dual enrollment. We'll see. And then that leaves this semester open. And we will see. We may take it very light this semester, and being it his last semester, and do nothing, or just a more fun science topic. I don't know. We'll see. I'm so intimidated by all of this. and I'm going to leave it open, and we'll see where life takes us. Now, 9th grade with my daughter, and Matthew is much more like her as a student, was a huge transition. Ben smoothly transitioned, but my daughter did not. So I want to make sure that we make some fun electives and some lighter electives for him, since he's already going to have a heavy course load plus the transition. So next year, he's going to do musical theater at our co-op. And then he's going to do a health course there. And then PE, which we do at home with different fitness. I would also like him to do some kind of an art course this year, or his 11th grade year, again, to balance out the heaviness of his math and science, something that's lighter and off screens and just using a different part of his brain. So whether that's a sketching class or a painting course, something that will be good to balance out the heaviness. 10th and 11th grade tend to be the heaviest as far as credits go, plus college applications and SAT testing and all of that stuff that goes on these 2 years. I really like to make sure that their electives are things they really want to do and are fun and bring some joy to their days. Now in 11th grade, I also would like him to take a public speaking course at our community college. I think it's a great first course because it is a little lighter of a workload and then just helps with the confidence of speaking. As a possible third elective, Ben is going to do a world architecture course this year. He's an 11th grader. Matthew might like to do it, if not this year, maybe in 10th grade. I think he would enjoy it, and it would be an easier course. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm leaving these other ones open so that we've got the space to follow his interests and see what it brings. He's a very focused kid about what his future looks like, but sometimes doesn't live in the moment enough. And I would like to encourage that. And an easy way to do that is by keeping those electives open so that he's got space to just explore. Now, balancing the academics, I think, is really important as well. So I like to put down some ideas so that we don't forget about the other stuff. He does a STEM club at one of the local universities. Soccer. We have a homeschool soccer team that he's on. The plan is that he will continue those. We don't yet know if he'll do SAT or ACT as his focus, but we'll start prepping for that in 9th grade, and then he'll probably take his first test in 10th grade, and then 1 or 2 more times in 11th grade as needed, because that gives us time in the fall of his senior year to take it again if we need to. While a lot of colleges are going test optional, some are starting to roll that back after COVID. Others are going the other way. And I don't want to limit him by not doing that. Now, as far as volunteering goes, I think it's so important as well. He serves on our church's tech team, and he acolytes. I would like to get him involved in something with the community, but I'm not sure what that looks like. I don't know where his interest might be. As I did with the electives, I am leaving space for finding what is interesting to him and what opportunities present themselves. But don't forget to think about the other things as well. Not only do colleges want your kiddos to have a good education, but they want to see that they're more than just coursework. And they need it for their mental health, they need it for their physical health. It makes them a well-rounded adult to do more than just learn this way through our books. So that's how I go about planning what high school might look like for my kiddos. If this planning pack and this might be something that is helpful to you, I will leave the link down below. This has got not only the roadmap, but things broken down by year, a place for all your notes and details. Link down below, and I will see you in the next video.